This exercise is called the Quadruped rock back. It's a great exercise to get some hip flexion, range of motion, and also get a little weight bearing through the hips. What you're going to do is you're going to set up on your hands and knees, and you're slow and controlled going to sit your butt back towards your heels, pause for a second, and then come back up. Wherever your hip is kind of telling you it's enough range of motion, pause there, don't push past any pain barriers, and then come back up and out of it. We're going to try to go through a lot of repetitions here, and so we're not going to have a prolonged hold. We're working on stretching out connective tissue and not muscle here. So a good set and rep scheme here will be 2 to 3 rounds of about 10 to 12 repetitions. The goal here again is to get a little bit of weight-bearing hip flexion to allow us to move a little bit smoother through our day-to-day life. This is called the Quadruped rock back. This exercise is called the standing hip circle. This is a great exercise to 1, build strength in a single leg position, and 2, to get some range of motion through the hip. You're going to set up with either a broomstick or something to hold on to, such as a wall or a kitchen counter. Then what you're going to do is you're going to take a large march and you're going to make a large circle around, okay? Come back down to the ground between, then you're going to march and make a large circle. Now, an important thing to note here is as I'm making that circle, I'm staying tall through my skeleton. What I see a lot of folks do, especially people who have limited hip range of motion, is they kind of compensate at the trunk. They're doing a lateral trunk lean, or they're doing some kind of compensatory motion to get a little extra. It doesn't really matter how far you go. We're just trying to expand what you currently have available as hip range of motion. So whatever you currently have, that's what we're trying to work through, staying tall through that skeleton to make sure that we're getting good hip range of motion and not compensatory movements through the trunk. So core should be tight and engaged here. We're going to go slow and controlled through this. Not meant to be a fast exercise. Going for about 6 to 8 repetitions, 2 to 3 sets through. This is a great exercise to do on both sides, even if you're only having issues at one side. The reason for that is we both want that hip to move and stabilize. So if we're doing this right, the stabilizing leg or my plant leg is going to be burning by the end of this exercise because it's working to really stabilize our trunk. Okay, this is the standing hip circle. This is the standing hip abduction exercise. This is a great exercise for hip osteoarthritis to get the outside of the hip stronger and to work the hip abduction range of motion. You're going to set up with a light band around your ankles and a slight bend in the knees. You're going to keep your core tight, step out to the side, and then come back to neutral. If balance is an issue for you, make sure that you're holding on to something. This could be a broomstick, a kitchen counter, or a wall. This is an exercise where we're working the strength and the range of motion, and balance shouldn't be the limiting factor here. We're going to go for about 8 to 10 repetitions, about 2 to 3 sets through each side. That way that involved hip gets to both work and stabilize. So the leg that's planted here is doing almost as much work as the leg that's moving. And that's because it's working to stabilize our whole body. So we're going to go 2 to 3 rounds, about 8 to 10 repetitions through the standing hip abduction. This is the quadruped hip extension. This is a great exercise to get end range hip extension range of motion and also work on the strength of the hip. You're going to set up in hands and knees, making sure our core is tight and engaged. What you're going to do is you're going to reach one leg long. So I'm trying to reach this leg as long as I can. And I'm not necessarily worrying about height here because if we kick way too far up, we're probably going to lose core stability. So I'm reaching this leg as long as I can, squeezing that glute, coming back down and repeating. We're going to go for about 8 to 10 repetitions here, about 2 to 3 sets each side, making sure that we're not losing core stability so our trunk shouldn't kind of extend like this, but belly button stays kind of pulled up towards the ceiling, and making sure you're not rotating at the hips as we push. Hips stay straight down towards the floor, core stays engaged as we work through here, okay? So about 8 to 10 repetitions each side, squeezing that glute or that back pocket muscle as we kick back. This is the quadruped hip extension. This is the double leg bridge. This is a great exercise to get end range hip extension while also getting the quads and the glutes a little bit stronger. You're going to set up in a hook lying position with your feet about hip width apart and your knees about hip width apart. What you're going to do is you're going to dig your heels down into the ground to lift your butt up as high as you can, pause at the end range for about a second or two, and then slow and controlled back down. Okay, so this is a slow, kind of methodical exercise here in this early stages. And we're trying to really get end range hip extension. In this position, we're stretching out all of our hip flexors. We're getting really towards that end range of hip extension. We're going to go for about 8 to 10 repetitions, 2 to 3 rounds through here. This is the double leg glute bridge.